Alright, so I don't know exactly how this is going to go, but I'm just going to wing it. Today is September 10th, 2024, and I just wanted to make a video about my experience using Linux on the desktop, mainly as a gaming computer, but for all-purpose tasks. I've been doing this since July 4th, 2024, so a little over 2 months. This is actually my second attempt doing this. Last year I used Pop! OS for probably 4 or 5 months before ultimately returning to Windows. Honestly, I forget why, but regardless. And then I just got bored one day and we installed Nobara. So I've been running Nobara Linux for that whole amount of time. And I gotta say, I've been super pleased with it. Nobara is a modified version of Fedora that comes pre-installed with gaming tweaks and so like Game Scope, Mango HUD, um, Feral Game Mode, and then just like VAPI, FFmpeg, and all that stuff for uh, OBS and such. Pre-installed, working. As you can see, this is a full AMD system, 5800X3D, 6950XT, and yeah, I have to say this has been just as stable as Windows, if not more, for my gaming needs, which lately, well, primarily are just Session Skate Simulator. Um, Lately, a lot of No Man's Sky, Core Keeper for the last couple weeks, and so on. This is how I handle all my games, just through Steam. Even if I download them through the Heroic launcher, I have all that go into Steam. So what game, like Fall Guys, for example, is an Epic Game Store game. It comes up through Steam. And Rocket League, same way. Unfortunately, I never got that on Steam. Neither of those games on Steam while they were there. But and then I can also use Emulation Station. Um, this is how I handle a lot of my like older emulation titles. PSP, PS2, PlayStation, Sega Genesis, all that through here. The way I installed all this was through EmuDeck, which was originally a Steam Deck utility, but has a desktop Linux version now, so that configures everything, including Emulation Station and all the necessary folders for you. Um, Switch games, I just have them added to Steam to launch like regular Steam games. Don't come for me, Big N. um, and even Battle.net, which I use for it's in my favorites. Diablo 4. Battle.net works great. Out of all of my Steam games, the only ones that do not work are Destiny 2, which, as you can see, I was never a huge fan of anyways, with a total playtime of 31 minutes. Call of Duty, which is like the all-encompassing Call of Duty launcher from what I understand. As you'll see, I never played that too much either. And Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Played it a little bit, but that is what it is. Those are all due to anti-cheat. But besides those games, my entire Steam library works on Linux flawlessly. Um, just for example, whoa, what did I do? Oh, I like long clicked. We'll open up Spider-Man Remastered. Just to show you, this is going to be 4K ray tracing high. Yeah, Normally, I get pretty much a locked 120 FPS here, so I'm actually kind of interested to see how this does with the 4K OBS screen recording going on. I made sure to do that in 4K and upload this video in 4K just to kind of show how all this stuff works and how easily it is flowing. My thoughts right now. But you know, this is all off the cuff, so we're just going. I'm new to this. And if you guys are having a good time following along, it'd be super awesome to get a like, a subscribe, or whatever, you know? A comment. Let us know how your Linux journey's going. So just so I can show you guys the settings we're working with here. This is full screen 4K, 120 hertz. This is an LG C2. So actually we're using a display port to HDMI 2.1 because AMD can't implement HDMI 2.1 into their open source driver. It works with the DisplayPort adapter, but it's kind of expensive. If you have NVIDIA, that would not be an issue though. HDR, I don't have GameScope toggled on in Steam, but if I put GameScope into the launch parameters, I could turn on HDR here. But I have system level HDR on just through Nobara. FSR3, frame generation. Yeah.
Must be where Vinny's meeting the main crew.
And let's...
Should eavesdrop. See if I can get any more details about tonight's big show.
We're leaving the mission, but we will abandon the mission. That's okay. You know, go and do a little swinger. Just make sure you guys can see the frame time graph. You cannot. So, anchor webcam, move the log. Boom. Boom.
Check it out.
Cool. All right. This game's surprisingly intuitive on mouse and keyboard. But yeah, as you can see, temps are 70s, high 70s on the CPU. We're running an ITX case with some pretty high-end hardware, at least from a generation ago. But we're getting almost a locked 120. I saw, see, like it'll dip to 90, but that doesn't seem to happen with OBS as an recording. So a little bit of performance hits to be expected there. And again, the settings we got going are 4K. The FSR frame generation is on, so obviously that's assisting the frame rate. But I have to say, if you haven't tried this version, at least in this game, it's insane. This is all high, ray tracing high. Motion blur down, field of view cranked all the way up. Yeah. Elden Ring, all these games work just like that. That frame counter comes pre-installed. That's the Mango HUD. It works fantastically with just, I don't know if I configured it, but it's Shift F12 in any game. It works amazingly. Now to a few system tweaks I've done that I like compared to what is at least simple to do in Windows. Up here I've configured this little toolbar. Well, first of all, show you guys the mouse. It gets bigger like macOS when you do this, just by default. But up here, there's this little toolbar. KDE Connect is essentially AirDrop, so I can take pictures on my phone, use KDE Connect to just quickly drop it to my PC. Memory usage shows my current RAM usage, 6.1 gigabytes, whatever, out of 31.3, 32. system monitor, CPU, GPU temps right now. You can see the GPU's working a teeny bit doing this OBS recording, disk usage, and then application launcher. So all of this is just customizable and configurable. Um, we have custom desktop or separate desktops over here in this corner, so I can add. I don't know if that records that, but we'll see. I can add desktops there. This application launcher, these are all my favorited apps. So we'll go here and talk about that a little bit. The apps you can use. OBS Studio, obviously. Oh, OBS Studio, obviously. It's what we've been using this whole time. Screen recording, streaming. I stream on Twitch and on YouTube. Just Derborius at Derborius, however that works on both, if you'd like to give me a follow there. Um, Godot is a game engine you can use to make games. I'd really like to try to make a 2D game, get into that a little bit. DaVinci Resolve is a video editor I'll probably use to edit this if I end up having to cut anything, add anything in. Affinity, the Affinity suite is what pushed me to finally make this video. Um, a lot of people say they would use Linux, but they need Photoshop, or they would use Linux, but they need this X Adobe application. Affinity Photo is amazing in that I can just use it in the way I said KDE Connect I use to airdrop essentially from my phone. I can do the same and just open it here in Affinity Photo. Now I'm a very novice, but here we have my brother and his fiance at their wedding. Uh, yeah. So for creative applications, we have the full Affinity suite of Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, and Affinity Publisher for graphic design purposes. Kate, just, text editor. We don't want all that gibberish. Krita, digital painting. Sunshine I use to essentially set up what I like to call whole home PC gaming. I'd eventually like to make a video just specifically about this, but I run Sunshine. Strangely, it's not running right now, but we'll fix that. And it's just an application that runs in the background, and I have Moonlight installed on my phone, my laptop, and both of my Apple TVs, so I can access this screen from anywhere. And if I do it, say, on my Apple TV, it launches straight into Steam Big Picture mode, which is essentially the Steam Deck UI. And it's like I have my PC as a console, but at any TV in my house or on my phone, even on my Steam Deck, if I want to play these games with a little more horsepower than the Steam Deck can provide natively. There's Moonlight. I use it on this computer to access my local server that runs Jellyfin, Home Assistant, Nextcloud, all that. Heroic Games Launcher is a piece of software that I'd really like to show, and definitely essential for Linux gaming. I'm very consistent with claiming the Epic free games and Amazon Prime free games. So, Heroic Launcher is essentially a front end for the Epic Game Store, GOG, and Prime Gaming. And it uses this, combines all those into one launcher. You can play, update, and download the game specifically from here, or set it to auto add your games to Steam when I download it. So say I were to install Art of Rally, it'll auto add Art of Rally to Steam to just launch from there like any other Steam game, as you saw with Fall Guys, Rocket League, blah blah blah. Um, Really, the only issue I've had since Linux is the screen streaming over Discord, the share my screen thing, does not work under Wayland, which is what Nobara now uses as its window manager. But you can use the web version of Discord and it does work there. Or what I've found is to just in OBS start virtual camera and then Discord sees this whole screen captured here as a camera. So I just share my camera and choose this and it works just the same. But other than that, I don't really have much else to say other than I think the state of Linux gaming in 2024 is damn near perfect, if not perfect, and it's certainly worth a try if you have a spare SSD or know how to dual boot, or you could just jump in head first and, go for it. Um, Again, I'd really appreciate anyone who found this video helpful or learned something new. If you could give me a like, a subscribe. We're trying to see how this goes out here. Uh, yeah, thanks, guys. Goodbye.